Hey guys, welcome back to the food series and welcome to the first installment of the meats, and we're going to be starting with chicken for this episode. I am so excited to have some very interesting recipes and tips for you guys to try. So first of all, of course, we're going to start with the spices that you might need, just like the previous episode. The same spices what you're going to need, but in case you've forgotten, here they are. For this episode, we are going to be needing the following things. So if you're going to be doing this video with me, please grab these things or have these things in the pantry just in case you ever want to try any of these recipes. We have some plain yogurt. We're going to be using some corn flour. We're going to be using some panko breadcrumbs or just breadcrumbs. And then we're also going to be using some lemons. We're also going to be using some all-purpose flour. If I do end up doing a separate recipe during the time that I'm doing these recipes, I will definitely mention to you guys what I have added. The times are hard. And as when the times are hard, we usually resort to getting a full ass chicken. This is a full chicken. Why is this affordable? This is because if you get a full chicken, you're able to separate it into different parts. So legs, wings, breasts, thighs, like you will get so many pieces that you can separate and cook as the week goes by, as the month goes by, depending on how much you cook chicken. Personally, I'm not good at cutting into pieces, so I usually resort into buying the pieces separately, but luckily for me, I have a partner who knows how to separate the chicken, so he's going to separate it for us. I'm just going to show you how he does it, and maybe he can give you guys some tips on that. Wow, look at that. The beauty. He has done such a beautiful job. I'm just here looking at everything like, wow. So we have some remaining, this is like the backbone. This is the backbone of the chicken that now is a carcass. And even when he was removing the chicken breast, there is a part that is left. This is what is left. So what you're gonna do, you're not gonna throw that part, you're gonna use it to make stock. Chicken stock, add chicken stock to this. Chicken stock does add flavor, or you can just drink it, but this is not kienyeji, so you're not supposed to boil it too much. But for today's purpose, I'm not gonna show you guys how to make the chicken stock yet. We're just gonna focus on the different cuts of meat. The chicken stock will come later on in another episode, but thankfully we have freezers. So once you get these extra pieces, even the too small part of the wing, you just need the drum and the flat. A drum and a flat, if I'm not wrong. That's what you need. So like a small part of the wing, you don't need to throw it. You can just add it to make part of the stock. So we're just gonna freeze that for now. So we are going to start with the chicken breasts. So one of the most important and best tips of chicken recipes, or rather of all meat recipes, is brining. That's what gives the chicken flavor or the meat flavor from inside. It's very important. And the best recipe for brining is a 1/4 cup of salt for 4 cups of water. That should be the base. You can add more, but just use that as the base. Now, kumbuka maths with fractions, please use it. It's important to have the right solution for brining. So we just want the salt to dissolve. So we're gonna start with chicken breast, and for the chicken breast, we're gonna start by brining it first. Of course, it's been brined, and for this solution of brining that I told you guys about, you need it for a few hours. It's not for overnight. There is brining solutions for overnight, but for this particular episode, we're talking for one that you just need for a couple of hours, because we're also trying to save time. So this only works for a couple of hours. So for the chicken breast, we're going to start by brining it first. Actually, you can put a whole chicken. You can put all the pieces you want inside here. It's all up to you, especially if you feel like your chicken is not seasoned well enough. This is such a great hack. The chicken breast has been brining for a couple of hours now, guys. So we're going to remove it. We're going to make sure to pat it dry. And you will notice with the chicken breast, it's not uniform. The top part is thicker than the bottom part. So we're just going to make like a cross-sectional, like proper cut. And then I will have actually more meat. And I'll also have a uniform base for the chicken katsu. So we're going to start with the barbecue recipe. And for the barbecue recipe, this is what we're going to need. We're going to first start with 1 tablespoon of paprika, half a tablespoon of garlic powder, half a tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So just going to add oil to your liking. You just want to put enough that the marinade is runny. If you're using Ziploc, create the marinade in the Ziploc. If you're using a container, create the marinade in the container, then introduce the chicken so that you save everything. We are saving everything. So now that we're done with the barbecue marinade, you can actually do it dry or wet. It just depends with what you want. And you can also add brown sugar, especially if you really want that barbecue taste. And that also barbecue marinade can be used in potatoes as well. For the chicken katsu, we need the full pieces of the chicken breast that we've already cut into half. We're just gonna pat it, or rather we're gonna heat it until it's completely uniform and flat, so as to help with the cooking process. We want the cooking process to be very fast, so we're just gonna heat it down, and then we're gonna add just a little bit of salt, because remember we had brines, and then we're going to add a little bit of black pepper. You can actually add more spices if you need. This is just a base recipe. We're going to have like a station to make sure that everything goes correct. So time to tackle the katsu. Again, please make sure it's completely dry. Okay, we're going to make sure it's completely dry. Of course, to protect your board, you can put cling film on top and under, especially for this process. I'm gonna put some flour here. We don't need to season the flour since the chicken is already seasoned. And then the panko, the breadcrumbs. Better to add less and then keep adding than add more and then you'll have nothing to do with it later. You need to be careful. One hand is supposed to be for the wet and one hand for the dry. All right, so I think I'm gonna use my left for the wet, then the right for the dry. So I'm gonna dip it in flour first. Use the left to touch the eggies. Straight to the breadcrumbs. So the person I watched said you need to press it down so that the breadcrumbs are. Clearly I've used small plates, but we're gonna make it work. Use a large working surface area. Pat it in. Pat it in. See, Juju, pat. This is what we're looking for. So we're just gonna put it this way in between parchment papers and freeze. for those rainy days. I'm so excited for this one actually. So we just put parchment and one of the chicken breast. So we're just gonna add another parchment. Taki zishikane. And then layer it, and we're just gonna do the same process for the rest. So on to the next marinade we're gonna make. It's gonna be a very yogurty, super flavorful recipe. So we're just gonna start with natural plain yogurt, guys. Please, natural plain yogurt. 3 tablespoons of plain natural yogurt, 1 tablespoon of coriander, 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of garlic and ginger, and juice of 1 lemon. But depends with how big your lemon is. If it's too big, use half. If it's small, like the one you typically have, then 1 lemon is enough. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and then you're gonna mix it up. So guys, we are finally done. Those are the few recipes I wanted to show in this particular episode. Of course, there's going to be more episodes for chicken breast, chicken thighs, and just chicken as a whole. And for these recipes, you can actually just freeze them. But one thing you need to remember is to label them, and you can leave them out like in the fridge for like once you're done, like for the whole night, and then the following day you can put them in the freezer. But if you're not sure you're gonna remember, just throw them in the freezer immediately, but don't forget to label. The chicken has cooked in enough time because I cut it into cubes with the potatoes. So quick and fast. If you've not watched part 1 of the episode to see how we prepped the rice and the veggie sauce, please make sure you do. For this episode we are testing the rice. We're testing the chicken. Let's see. This is really good. Must try, guys. Make sure you try this. For the meat, guys, this is another way for you to have the katsu. You can have it with rice like we showed, or you can have it this way. There are so many different ways. Just have it how you want. Guys, do you see how versatile chicken is already? And since it's been marinating, this is gonna be a burst of flavor, because this is also with the veggie sauce that we made in the first video. So we're having veggies and chicken basically. Yeah, I'm gonna just enjoy this.